Alright, sir, this is our first deliverable system modeling for our career planning and retirement option decision tool. I'm Cadet Caravana.
I'm Cadet Delimarski.
So, first we came up with our requirement diagram. Our main requirement is that the system shall calculate a soldier's total earnings. Our sequence diagram and our flow diagram. So lookup earnings, we have the system shall have the ability to look up earnings based on various inputs into the system. Some of the inputs we listed out were the amount of years that the soldiers served in the military, the amount of years they would serve in the civilian sector, their total investments, their rank at retirement input, and also their date of requirement, which would determine whether they would choose the old or the new military retirement system. For the military years input, we broke that down into a list of posts, and that would also be broken down further into years at each individual post that they served at while they were in the military. Also, we looked at their number of deployments in months, which would help to determine their total military retirement career earnings. For the civilian sector, we also looked at the civilian company that they worked for, which we'd also look at their location of where that company was located, and that's broken down into their benefits that the civilian company would give them. We looked at their pension, their 401k, healthcare, the healthcare plan that the company offered, and so on. For calculations, the system shall calculate a person's earnings based on the lookup values, and we broke that down into the inputs and tables, basically the relationship when we would put in the soldier's inputs, how it would interact with the tables to come up with an output, to come up with a projected military and civilian retirement amount. And finally, we would have this earnings to be displayed in the table.
For our block diagram, we wanted to determine what our inputs and the outputs are going to be in order to find out the career value. So we divided the career value block into three main ones: the military, civilian, and investments component. The military, in its turn, is divided into the military compensation and military benefits. The military compensation will consist of the BAH, the deployment pay, and the military salary. As you can see, the BAH is dependent on the location and the number of dependents. The deployment pay depends on the deployment pay amount and the amount and the number of months deployed. The military salary depends on the years of service and the rank. The military benefits block is consisting of the commissary benefits, education allowance, tri-care value, and military retirement, which is determined by the expected years of service in the Army, which will result in a GI Bill and the retirement pay. The civilian component consists of the civilian benefits and the civilian compensation. The civilian benefits will be determined by the education cost, the healthcare value, the civilian tax, which is determined by the state in which the person lives, the civilian retirement, which is calculated by the expected retirement date, and it will include the 401k account. The civilian compensation will consist of the civilian salary and the job type. And lastly, the investments will consist of the amount that the person has invested, the inflation rate, and the return rate. Our sequence diagram will consist of 4 blocks: user interface, data tables, and lists. The list will pretty much provide the user with some available information that the user will be able to pick that relates to him. So those are military or civilian, the location where the military person is posted, the amount of months that he was deployed, the years of service, the rank, expected years of service, the state in which the civilian lives, and the expected retirement date. The user will have to pick from the user interface the data that is applicable to him, such as military or civilian, the location, number of dependents, deployment pay amount, months deployed, years of service, rank, expected years of service, education cost, healthcare value, the state, expected retirement date, the civilian salary, amount invested, inflation, and return rate. Furthermore, that data will be processed with the data in the data tables, and it will show it will forward the results into the user interface. The results forwarded will be the BAH amount, the deployment pay, the military salary, commissary benefits, education allowance, military retirement, the civilian tax, civilian retirement, and the investments. Furthermore, it will calculate the total retirement worth and the best career option, and in the end it will show the results to the user, which will be the retirement worth and the best career option.